Matt Stairs, a member of the Phillies broadcast team and, of course, a very important member of those Phillies 2008 and 2009 teams, got a chance to play with Ryan Howard. Stairs, I guess it makes you feel a little mixed feelings when you saw yesterday. I said my 20s just flashed before my eyes watching yesterday. I guess when you're in the moment, everything just goes flashing. And for you who got to play with Ryan Howard, yesterday probably was pretty interesting for you as well.
It was. I mean, there's always the mixed emotions. The last piece of the '08 World Series team is officially gone. It's just back, and what it does, it just makes those memories come into your mind real quick of what he did, throughout the playoffs and throughout his career in Philadelphia. And it's a sad day, but it's also a joyful day for Ryan Howard, knowing that what he did in Philadelphia has come to an end, and tremendous turnout by the fans, and a great job by the Phillies of supporting Ryan Howard.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think a lot of people, when they think back to runs, your home run against the Dodgers is one of the top of mind things. But can you kind of let the fans in a little bit about, Ryan Howard's role on those two teams and how important he is? Because sometimes I do think he gets overshadowed by the popularity of a guy like Utley. And, of course, Rollins was very charismatic. And he said it himself yesterday. I'm just a shy guy from St. Louis. I just appreciate. But can you kind of put into words about how important he was for those runs with that organization?
Well, I think just the name Ryan Howard in the middle of the lineup changed the outlook of how managers were going to approach our team and how they were going to use the bullpen. They would burn their number one left-hander that came in and fish at Ryan Howard. He is a shy guy. He's a guy that sits in his locker, and he's always got a big smile on his face. He's not real vocal leader, but he lives by example. He went out and played the game as hard as he could. He had fun. Tremendous leader on the field. In the locker room, he would crack some jokes and at the right time when you needed it. That's what leaders do. And like I said, his presence in the locker room, his presence on the field, knowing that the big piece was hitting fourth every day, made it very interesting and to see how the visiting team was going to pitch around him or approach him that day.
Matt, what do you think? You say he wasn't a vocal leader, but then you hear stories like "Just get me to the plate, boys." What are some of the stories that the fans don't know about the big piece that stick out to you?
Well, I don't know if I can say it on the air. No, I'm kidding. He was that guy. He was so confident in the fact that he could turn the game around in one swing of the bat, which he could. And again, on the bench, he sat there and he would crack jokes and have fun. He was a very smart hitter. That's one thing about that 08 and 09 team that I really appreciated was the amount of communication that everyone had on the bench. And Ryan and Chase and Jimmy and myself and Pat Burrell, whoever was going to be there, it just seemed like we'd always go back to Ryan and say, "Hey, what do you think? In this situation, what should I look for?" And vice versa. He would ask guys. So there's really not any one story that stands out. I think just all the fact that he was so prepared and he was willing to ask other people what we thought made him even a better person.
Do you think that do you think yesterday's turnout and the support for him, does that show the true passion of the Philadelphia fans for how they feel toward him? Or is he going to be like a Dick Allen-esque where he's misunderstood, or a Schmitty where he's misunderstood until now that he's gone and then, now we love him?
No, I think, yesterday it showed that how much Philadelphia appreciates him. Yeah, it's been a tough go ever since the big contract, and unfortunately, Achilles injury. Nothing you can do there. But, again, it's not Philadelphia. It's everywhere you go. If you're doing well, fans are going to love you. If you're not doing well, fans are going to boo you or give you a hard time. And it's every sport you do, in every area, in every city you do, you have to get used to it. And, but honestly, I think deep down inside, people sit back and say, okay, you know what, man, and in his prime, in 08, 07, 08, 09, 10, 11, he was probably one of the best power hitters in the game, the most feared power hitter in the game. And he went out there, and he wasn't flashy. He wasn't that guy that, wanted to be in the news all the time. He's just, like you said, a shy guy from Missouri. He wanted to go out and play the game and have fun, and he did. And honestly, I think the way that the crowd turned out yesterday hats off to the Phillies fans and the organization.
Yeah, Matt Stairs is with us, part of the Phillies broadcast team the last couple of years, played with Ryan in 08 and 09. Matt, you played for 12 different teams over 19 years. In terms of impact power hitters, is he the best you ever played with? Going through all the different teams, was he the most feared or most, the best power hitter that you've ever played with?
Well, I wish I could say yes. I've played with a lot of great power hitters. Ryan Howard, of course, is up there. I played with Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco. That was kind of back in the era of the steroid era, but Ryan was one of those guys that there's something about him and the way the ball came off Mark McGuire's bat that was impressive. I played with Mo Vaughn as well, so I played with a lot of true superstar power hitters. And I would say Ryan was probably in the top three. It's just the way, that sweet swing he had and how that ball would carry. But he had the exact same swing on every pitch. Some guys would muscle up and try to hit a ball farther. Well, he had that nice, easy swing. And when he connected, oh, my Lord. The ball went a mile. And it still does. He still has tremendous power. He learned second half how to use his lower half. I think he got in a bad habit, and I know I'm getting away from the question, but I think he's a guy that just shows how much power he has because he wasn't that overswing guy. He just had the nice, easy swing every time, and that ball accelerated off his bat. And it was definitely it was fun to watch him take game swings. Now, batting practice, he was born to watch. He was the guy that always wanted the ball to left field. I'm like, okay, I can't wait to see Ryan Howard hit. How far he hits these balls. He just worked on staying inside the baseball, then all of a sudden in the game, it took over. So top three, that's for sure.
Hey, how much, Matt, do you think that Achilles injury derailed maybe the last 4 or 5 years of his career? Do you think that had a major impact on the power numbers and even the batting average? The one year he won the MVP, he hit 313. He's had some years where he hit in the upper 200s, but do you think that Achilles injury really derailed maybe 3 or 4 years towards the end here?
Well, I wish I could say yes. I think what it did was probably a couple of years it hurt him. But again, as a hitter who relies on using your lower half, when you have Achilles injury, you try to do something different in your stance, and you get away from using his lower half. For the last 3 years, he didn't have any lower half swing. He didn't know how to sit back on his backside and drive off that backside. Now, all of a sudden, the second half of this year, he did. He got back in that little squat. You could tell he had a different stance. So I would say maybe a couple of years with the injury, it hurt him. Then all of a sudden, he got into a bad habit and didn't know how to get out of it. But then he found it again. So, it'd be interesting, too, if you go back to when he won the MVP, how many walks he had and how many pitches he saw per at-bat. How many times he hit with the count in his favor. And I just found over the last couple of years, Ryan Howard saw the first pitch, he was swinging at it. He still wanted to be that guy, but he didn't take pitches to get deeper into the count or maybe take the walk. And maybe he put a little bit of pressure on himself the last couple of years. But, I would say with Achilles maybe a couple of years, but I think he got in a bad habit, just not using the lower half again.
We're talking with former Phillies slugger and current Phillies analyst for CSN, Matt Stairs. And Matt, in 2010, the Nationals signed you, and then you got the invitation to spring training and went to the 25-man roster and went up for a little bit, and then designated for assignment. That was the end of your career. How does a player know when it's time and when it's the end? Because Howard seems very adamant that he's not done with baseball yet, and I guess the follow-up or the conjoined part of that is, does he have more left in the tank? Will somebody sign him?
Look, I honestly, I think it's for a ball player, it's in your heart. I had offers after I got let go by the Washington Nationals. I lost the love of the game. I didn't want to play anymore. I wanted to start a new career, broadcasting or coaching, whatever it was going to be. Ryan Howard still loves the game, and people are probably thinking why he should retire. The man hit 25 home runs and 330 some at bats.
Right, tied for first on the team.
Yeah, and that's the best numbers he had home run per at bat since 08. So, is there a team going to be interested, an American League team be interested in signing Ryan Howard? Absolutely. Why wouldn't you sign him knowing? Now is you're going to swallow his pride and go, okay, well, I've been making $25 million. if someone offers me $5 million, am I going to accept it with some incentives and bonuses? But why wouldn't you have? And that's why I'm so surprised over the last couple of years that an American League team didn't take a chance of bringing Ryan Howard in it wouldn't cost them very much to have that guy off the bench. He has great numbers pinch hitting, tremendous numbers throughout his career, and he's still a threat facing right-handed pitchers. So the answer to your question, yes, I think to be an American League team that gives them a chance. A major league contract, maybe not. A minor league contract to make the team, yes, for sure.
Matt Stairs is with us. The team finished 8 games better than last year. I thought Howard and the team, a very tough situation. They handled it as well as they could, I guess. I mean, very weird situation where he does have a contract for next year, just a buyout situation. But I thought yesterday went as smooth as possible. But just reflecting back, you were there for, the whole ride last year and this year. Did you see a legitimate improvement that the organization is going in the right direction now that Howard has kind of gone and that 2008 page has been turned completely? Do you see that this organization's going in the right direction?
No, I believe so. I think whenever you look at the trade of Cole Hamels and Dick Diekman to the Texas Rangers, and all of a sudden you have 3 guys in your starting rotation that were part of that deal, they're definitely going in the right direction. Now, the key is injuries. How does Eflin bounce back? How does Aaron Nola bounce back? Are they healthy for the 2017 season? Eichhoff was a tremendous story this year. Jeremy Helgson, I thought, did very well. So I honestly believe that they're going in the right direction. Now it's just a matter of getting the hitters on the same page as the pitchers are. And what I mean by that is using your noggin when you're hitting. Take your walks. Don't be in a hurry. That's one thing I think they need to really work on is the hitting approach. And yes, Hendu got fired. Is it his fault? No, it's not his fault. He's working with what he had. And with the talent they had, they have tremendous hitters. But they just got to figure out what type of hitter they are. Is Freddie Galvis going to be a 20 home run guy every year and hit 245, 240? I'd rather see him hit 280 and drive and hit 10 home runs, and work on the on-base percentage. So I think they're going in the right direction, and I also think that the more that the players play in the big leagues, the more they feel comfortable, and they don't put so much pressure on themselves because they don't want to prove to people, hey, I still belong here, I do belong here. I think they'll relax a little bit. So to answer your question, yes, they're heading in the right direction. There's a few things they have to work on, but I'm pretty pleased with 8 games. And honestly, it should have been probably 12 or 13 games better, minus a real bad road trip they had in New York and Atlanta.
Matt Stairs with us. So, Matt, when you think of Ryan Howard, what will you remember most?
True professional athlete, true professional player, and someone who respected the game and respected all of his peers, his teammates, the fans, and a guy who just absolutely come to the ballpark every day, and he always had a smile on his face.
Yeah, and it's as we said at the beginning, Matt, it's a whole career goes flashing by just like that. And then, of course, as you said, you just fell out of love with the game, but you're back in it doing the broadcasting. And obviously with Comcast Sportsnet, it was a pleasure, getting your insight the last couple of years there. And hopefully it will lead to some more winning baseball as we move forward here. As, this has been a very tough transition from that 08 bunch. Moving on to that next group. I mean, it's not easy for an organization to do that, right? It's a very delicate situation.
It is, and it's not easy for the fans either. I mean, you win 5 consecutive, divisions, and it just seems funny. You sit back and think about the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies are in a rebuilding stage. Who would ever think that? These are 2 top organizations, 2 top teams in your division almost every year. So, yes, and I think Andy McPhail has done a tremendous job, and Clemtek's done a great job of bringing in the right pieces. But again, are we going to be fighting for the playoffs next year? Who knows? It depends on what they decide to do in this offseason. There is a couple of things they need to do to make this team better and bring one big hitter in, to kind of take the pressure off all these young guys. But honestly, I think the Phillies fans, I know at times it's frustrating to watch, but if you look at the long run, it's going to be very interesting. 2017 and 2018 is going to be a very good season as well.
We look forward to Clearwater, and we look forward to catching up with Matt Stairs. We appreciate a couple minutes of your time, Matt, and enjoy the off season.
I will. Hockey started, so I'm already happy.
Oh, Canada. That's right, Matt. Take care of Lisa and the girls. It's good to visit with you, bud.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
All right, Matt Stairs, everybody here on the Sports Bash.